this week's Facebook Live, and it's based on, as always, it's based on this week's blog, which is about 2 tips to boost your mental health. Now, it's not just going to boost your mental health, it's also going to support your physical health, because both these tips are hugely beneficial to our mental and physical health. But because they're so simple, they're also free. I'm just going to mention that. People write them off. They write them off too quickly. They write them off too easily. But there is lots of research, and I mean lots of research, backing up both these tools that you can use. And the first one is journaling, and the second one is gratitude. And you can combine them both every night, 20 minutes, and you're going to reap the rewards, even just mentally. To reduce your stress, you're going to reap the rewards. But why and how do they work? So as I said, they're really good at supporting our stress management, reducing our anxiety and depression symptoms. They're also been shown to benefit asthma, arthritis, boost our immune system, and other physical conditions. Journaling is really good for helping us to improve our cognitive function. So that's really beneficial if you want to think about Alzheimer's and things like that. Prevention. It removes mental blocks. It helps with understanding somebody else's point of view, and also helping us to challenge our own opinions and point of view. Gratitude is a great one for boosting our mood. That has a ton of research behind it on how it is the quickest way to boost your mood, and it will give you a boost longer than any other mental health tool that we use. And for, really, really quick and effective tool to use, can change your attitude. Really good at getting us to change our perspective of the world around us, particularly when we're feeling very negative. It's a very effective tool to use. So how can they, journaling and gratitude, be used together to help boost your mental and physical health? Journaling in particular is very good at clarifying our thoughts. So, when we journal, or when we just even do a brain dump, what we call a brain dump, that's just writing everything down on paper. It helps with that jumble, that negative thinking, that cycle, the washing machine cycle, or those cognitive distortions that we all talk about that are going on in our head. If we can take it out and get it down on paper, it makes it easier to make sense of it, to start challenging it. Daily writing, and as I said, 15, 20 minutes, even if you only have a few minutes, just do a quick brain dump at the end of the night. Just doing that keeps us in touch with what's going on for us, but also keeps us in touch with what we want and how we're feeling. The caveat here is to not edit your writing. Procrastinators tend to do that. Perfectionists will tend to do that in particular. Just jot it all down. You can then read back over it and start reflecting on it and challenging it and clarifying it. And that's where it really comes into its own, when we start to do that. The second point I'd make is that gratitude is very good, as I said, at boosting and improving our self-esteem and our self-confidence. So, it's a very distracting world in which we live. Everything is driven, I think, mostly by social media and all those other platforms that we have up there. It's all technology driven these days. It's very distracting. We're always looking at other people's highlight reels, as they call them. We're tuning into more about what other people have to say, their opinions, and we're missing out really on taking that time out for ourselves and what our inner voice is telling us. And when we do that, then we enter into what we call the comparison game. If we can just take time out to stop doing that, and gratitude really helps to shift that mindset and helps to reduce that comparison game. It also then helps us to appreciate more what other people are achieving, but not get caught up in it. So therefore, our self-esteem and our self-awareness grows as a result, and that's very, very important. As I said at the start, both journaling and gratitude can reduce our stress levels. And as we know, stress makes us very, very sick, very, very, very quickly as well. If we leave it to go, it could lead to burnout, and we don't want to go down those roads. But writing, getting this out, this journaling can help release the intensity of the emotions. It can help us shift up from feeling stuck, overwhelmed, from procrastinating, from catastrophizing. So, therefore, when we get it all out of our heads, all the emotions up and out, we can feel calmer. So we're bringing things down, back down to a more even keel. We can use it for anger. We can write all out our anger as well. It's a good anger management tool. And when we do all that, then we can start to, we're detaching a little bit from it. So we're seeing it there on paper, what we've been trying to keep up here in our head, and we've been trying to find the solution, the fix in our head. But if you can just take it out and put it down on paper, sometimes the solution, we can see it. We can see it then when we actually put it down on paper in front of us. Now, if you're a keyboard person, if you like using your online stuff, you like your apps, go ahead and use those. And I know writing for some people can be very difficult for a variety of reasons, even for time constraint wise, or disabilities. There are plenty of apps there for recording, and just recording your thoughts. As long as you're getting them out and then you can listen back to them, that can have a huge benefit for reducing your stress. Again, gratitude. When we finish it up with gratitude, we do have a positive impact on our daily coping skills. And that then again can reduce our stress. We know that gratitude plays a major role from research in reducing and overcoming trauma, post-traumatic stress, and it does help build resilience as well. Again, it's all about how it changes our view, our perspective of the world and in which we live. We can build empathy and be more patient with others then as a result. So if we're journaling down the problems, if we're, reasoning out the conversations in writing, and this is where we do, you write it all out and then you go back over and you reflect and you challenge and you clarify, we become more aware of our own opinions, but then we also become more aware of others' opinions. And that can have, a two-effect or twofold impact on us. So we can see the other person's perspective, so we can build empathy there. We can be less blaming of others for our problems. We can become the problem solvers. We can see the real problem instead of being caught up in the he said, she said scenario. But we can also see, where we might be getting stuck, if we need help. And it isn't just about bringing more understanding about other people, but understanding of ourselves. Even when people are unkind to us, gratitude can help us develop a better sense of compassion and understanding. And when we're journaling it all out, we see those opinions. We see that maybe what our role we played in it. So I think that's important. I think that's really, really important to be able to do. And therefore, the next point I'd make is it can help us resolve disagreements with others. So as I said, instead of it being locked up in our head, we can actually go over what was said. We've written it down, we can go back over it, we can reflect it. But we can see what was actually said, not putting our own tangent on it. We can start to understand maybe the conflict and why it arose, and then even come up with a solution as to what's really going on. So if you can write down what has happened in the day and there was a problem, if you had an argument with somebody, if you can write it down, you can start seeing it and stepping back maybe and seeing their opinion, maybe seeing it from their perspective, what you did and what they did, and breaking it down and start reflecting on it. It is a useful tool to be able to do that. As I said too, journaling and gratitude can also help boost our cognitive function, and that's really, really important. So it's not just all about the arguments, the bad stuff that happens to us, and it's not just about getting everything out of our head. It can be about getting the stuff out of our head that's also good. So the good memories, um, you know, what happened today that was really positive for us, and this we can forget, because when we're caught up in the negativity, when we're very stressed, when we have a mental illness, when things aren't going right for us in some way or other in our lives, then we tend to dismiss the positives very quickly, and focus only on the negatives. But if we get in the habit of recording things, writing things down for ourselves, we also can record the good stuff, the good memories, the positives, even the win of the day. A magic moment, as I say to my mum's group, the magic moment that happens. One magic moment, even in the day, if you can start recording that, you're going to start being able to see that there are more good things happening around you. But when we're feeling very negative, we don't notice these things. The journaling can help also record those memories, but also to recall them. So therefore, it's improving our memory and our comprehension, and it boosts cognition. Um, we can use it to track our moods and our behaviors. That's a good one. That's really good, you'll often go to a doctor and say I don't feel well or whatever. They're going to want to know all the symptoms. So your mood and your behavior is going to be one they're going to want to know about. So it's not just the physical symptoms. They're also going to be monitoring your mood and your behavior around that. So when we can see that, we can use it for that. We can use it to go to the doctor, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit more in a minute. But it can also highlight situations that maybe need outside help, that we can actually ask for help. Do I need help? If we can see what's going on for us. The other thing about journaling and gratitude is it helps us to release toxic emotions. So instead of shoving them down or letting the negative cycle go in our head, we're actually bringing them up and out, and we're putting them down. You're allowing them to come up and out. I call it emotional vomit. So you're everything out, so that you're releasing them. It does help release those emotions, and thereby also it reducing your depression, anxiety, or stress symptoms, improves your sleep. I definitely feel it is journaling is something, or a brain dump at the very least, is something you should do at the end of the night to help. It does help improve your sleep, increases our happiness. We know that from the research. Gratitude in particular boosts our happiness levels. So, as they say, what we focus on grows. So, and as I said at the start of this point about cognitive function, was it when we're feeling very negative, when we're into a negative cycle, we don't always see the positives that are still going on in our lives. We can take a lot of things for granted. So we have to be aware of that, and become more aware of these things. So leading on to that, or from that, I should say, gratitude is also great for boosting our relationships, because when we record our gratitude, we can also become more grateful, and not take people for granted as much. So showing our gratitude towards colleagues or family, friends, it does lead to a better quality of a relationship. But as I said, if you're focused on very much on the negative, you may not see these people that are supporting you and how much they do for us. But when you start writing it down, when you start even writing down your gratitude for them, it does shift your mindset, and you do start to notice, you know what, they're always there for me. They're at the other end of the phone, or they make a cup of tea for me every night. They're there to support me. I do have supporters. I'm not on my own, and that will again, of course, lead to a more positive cycle, because it boosts our relationships as well when we start to show that gratitude by just saying thank you. You don't need grand gestures. You just need to say the words thank you. The next thing I would say to you is a couple more points I'd make here is, you know, going back to the physical health symptoms, the mental health. You can use the journal, and it's really good for tracking your mood, but also for tracking physical symptoms. And this is one where we may need to do that if there's something. If we're going, there's something wrong here. I need to really. There's something going on, but to help track physical symptoms, what's going on for us, because you can go into the doctor and we've all done it. We've gone to our doctor and said there's something wrong. I think, and you might remember one or two symptoms, but you mightn't remember them all. But if you can show them the dates, and you can show this has been going on for X amount of weeks, it does help them formulate a plan for you. It does help them get down to the root cause quicker, and maybe you'll get professional help a lot quicker as a result. So think about it in those terms as well. It is really beneficial, not just for helping with our physical health, but if you need a referral on to a mental health professional, you'll get it quicker as well, because they can see what you have it in writing. You can go in with it and say, here, this is what's been going on. And it does help that way as well. When we can go in with a list of symptoms and when they occur, we can see cycles in, what's going on for us mentally and physically. So just to finish up, how do we do a gratitude journal? I'm going to bundle the two of them together. So I would say 20 minutes a day, 15, 20 minutes a day, whatever you can, at the end of the day. I would say do it at the end of the day. I'd also say, start with a brain dump, what I call a brain dump. So it's not Dear Diary. So don't start panicking going, Dear Diary. It's not like that. If you want to do that, that's fine. I say to people, start by whatever is at the tip of your tongue or first thought in your head, and just start writing it down as it comes out of your head. I do have a kind of a suggestion sheet that I have given to my mum. So if you want that, it's over there in the group. Come and join us. And it has categories and things, so you can use the categories to run through very quickly and note down things that, this is going on for me today, or this was going on for me, or I need to remember to do. So, shopping lists, appointments, everything, just everything and anything. And once we start to get the stuff that's at the top of our head, or stuff that we have to remember, like the appointment, like shopping, or whatever it is we need to do, something for the kids, something in work, a project, I must remember to email that person. Once we get that stuff out of our head, then the emotions, then the other thoughts start to come up. So, put the timer on it, but just start allowing that stuff to come up. Come up for yourself, and then simply finish by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. You can build it up to 10 things. It can be a little repetitive. It can be, we can feel a little false at first when we're writing down things that we're grateful for. We can find ourselves repeating the same things, but do persevere, because it does work, and you will find you'll start to notice more things that you're grateful for. Your attitude and your mindset will actually change. It is a mindset changing tool. Some questions, and they're in the blog if you want to go and get them, but I'll just read them out for you. You might find that they would be helpful. Around this is, what am I learning from the challenges that's happened today? What am I learning from my challenges? So list out any challenging situation or person or other obstacle, or what good things you've learned from whatever challenge it was today. What did you learn? What can you learn from it? List it out, and then try and find something that you can learn from it. Maybe it's never to interact with that person again. That's what it could be. So another questions around this could be, can coping with this situation or person be of benefit to you? How is it benefiting? How is it benefiting me? What am I getting out of it? What's my payoff? Am I learning something new here? Are they teaching me something? Or is this situation teaching me something? Is something, new here that I can learn? Is it about the person? Or is it about me? So the thing here I would say to you is you can't know everything about someone. You can't know everything that's going on for that person. So sometimes we have to take a step back and go, what could be going on for that person? Is it really about them? Is it when they give out to me, when they're tearing strips off me today? Was that all about me? When they cut in front of me in traffic, and I'm still worrying about it. I'm still annoyed about it. Was that really about me? Maybe that person was racing to a hospital or something. What was going on? Maybe stepping back and looking, is this all about me, or is it about the other person? How will facing the situation, this challenge, help me raise my awareness of myself, even of my world around me? How is it going to help me raise my awareness, self-awareness? Other things about gratitude you can write down would be about people. So, list out 5 people I'm thankful for. Again, this is ones that you could use for family, friends, and even strangers, because when we're showing gratitude, even by writing it down, as I said, we can, show our gratitude in person then by, I really appreciate you doing that for me, or thank you for doing that, or thank you for being here. But we have to be aware of that. We have to start to be aware that these people are in our lives, they're supporting us. So listing 5 people at the end of the night that you're grateful for can be one way to start it. Other things you can use to help you overcome this faulty sense of gratitude could be to write things down like, the best part of my day was, one moment of the day that made me happy, the win of the day. What was my win of the day? So maybe write that down and then focus on it for 5 minutes, a few minutes, even 2 minutes, and write a bit more detail about it and why you feel that was your win for the day, or that was a happy moment, a magic moment in the day for you. It could be something you noticed, something that was positive. Maybe it was a positive news story, which is rare to see, but they're out there, but we have to start noticing them. The other thing you could write is write a list of benefits in your life. What's benefiting you, what are you getting, what are the positive things in your life that you're getting, or people in your life, as I said, and how can you be grateful for these, and to what extent do you take them for granted? I think that's a really good self-awareness exercise, that one. We have good things in our lives, we have positive things in our lives, but how do we take them for granted? And when we take them for granted, sometimes we can lose them, so we have to be aware of that. We shouldn't take things for granted. We should be more grateful for them. So that's just some of the reasons why these are good. These are helpful. I hope you enjoyed the information, and I hope you found it useful. I'm happy to answer questions on it. You can always pop a question below if you want to. As always, I'm here. If you want to work with me, or you can come and join me in our free group I have, Less Stress, More Success for Mums. Come and join me, and lots of trainings up there, because I've been running it now for a couple of years, so there's lots and lots of trainings up there that you might find useful to help you with stress and anxiety and depression. And I leave it there. Thank you as always to everybody who watches live, particularly Deirdre, always on every week, and to those who watch on YouTube as well as here and in replay. And I will talk to you all again next week. And have a good and safe week, and thank you all for listening.